Joining me now to talk about these new developments is Lavinia Masters. She is a rape survivor who has worked tirelessly to end nationwide accumulation of backlogged rape kits. Lavinia, it is a pleasure and an honor to interview you today. You were just 13 years old. I can't even imagine when you were raped. Can you imagine at that tender age being forced to carry your rapist's child?
No, ma'am. First of all, thank you for having me today, Tashina. But no, ma'am, there is no way possible that I can even imagine. When I talk about this, I even get emotional sometimes to think at 13 years old, not knowing who it was that raped me violently at knife point in the privacy of my home, and then having to go over 20 something years without knowing who it was. No, ma'am, that is not acceptable. That is something I can't even fathom. It doesn't make sense no matter how I try to process it. And at 13 years old, you have to think about the family that's taking care of that child, which was my mother. She was a single mother of 3 children. She could barely afford to take care of us, and then another child. And then you think about my health. Would I be able to even carry that baby to term and produce that baby? So to put something like this in place and not even consider victims of rape or incest or anything of that nature, it is just catastrophic and an idiotic thing to do.
Yeah, you said it. I want to play sound from your governor, Greg Abbott. He said this when asked about the law not making any exceptions, as you mentioned and highlighted, for rape or incest.
Why force a rape or incest victim to carry a pregnancy to term?
It doesn't require that at all, because obviously it provides at least 6 weeks for a person to be able to get an abortion. And so for one, it doesn't provide that. Rape is a crime, and Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas.
Lavinia, for one, what does a rapist look like? And to bring it back to you, your rape kit sat on the shelf for 20 years. When you hear your governor say that he would prosecute all rapists, what are your thoughts knowing your own personal situation?
My thoughts, honestly, are first, let's get these kits off the shelf. Maybe we can find at least some of the rapists, because my rapist was a serial rapist. He raped multiple victims, even when he was caught, not even catching on my behalf because I missed 2 statute of limitations, but he was caught for other rapes. He got out and did the same thing. So let's at least take care of the rapists that we know are in these kits. But to say that you're going to prosecute all rapists, that's a dream. And I would love to see it happen, but I think it's something that was not thought through before it was said. And you can't say things like that when you know you have known victims or survivors out there, because it can be very triggering to some. Because if that's the case, you would have solved their cases already. You would have taken care of them as victims. They would not be waiting on justice to be served. They would not be waiting on answers for them. So to say something like that was a very haphazard statement to survivors and victims of sexual violence. It can be very damaging, because it did trigger me, especially when you said to carry a baby that I wouldn't have known for 21 years who that father was, and then to just go through that all over again and just think to be forced to do something of that nature is very triggering for individuals. So I'm thinking of me and the calls I've gotten, because I'm an advocate, and I've gotten numerous calls and emails from survivors that have went through this, and it was just traumatizing for them to hear this. And to think that, to say that abortion is worse than rape, I think you should leave it as an option for us. Then let's allow survivors and victims to go through their own healing processes, and you not try to take control, because now you're going into abusive behavior by being controlling mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, and you're more damaging to me than to even consider an abortion itself as damaging on top of that rape.
Tell us about some of the calls that you received from women on the road to healing, and how this just, according to you, set them back from that healing process.
Some of the calls, one in particular, one young lady that I had no idea, she has a child from a rape. She never told anyone about the rape. because she felt that it was her fault. And that's one of the major things that happens with victims of sexual assault. We victim blame. We blame ourselves because a lot of times society helps do that for us. And so what she shared with me is that her daughter now, I won't give her age because I don't want to give you too many details, but her daughter now, eventually, she's an adult, young adult, she had to tell her what happened because she always wondered throughout the years who was her father. And she had to let her know, you were a victim, a product of rape. And it was damaging. It's still damaging for her to hear the governor, because she lives in Texas, to say this, because she already lived in fear. And then I just came from a conference, the Nova conference in Orlando, and one young lady shared with me there was a little girl that was 10 and one that was 13 of incest, and were raped by their uncle, one by the grandfather. And she said she took them to get there to abort those babies because there is no way they could have raised those children, and it was beyond the 6 weeks that our governor speaks of. That's not even a proper biology to give as far as the woman's body. You, a woman yourself, know how the body works, and sometimes how it works on its own. Myself, with my living birth, my child, we didn't know until we were 8 weeks pregnant. And then there are times you still may have a full cycle going on for months at a time before you even realize you're pregnant. So it's very damaging for survivors and victims to hear these type of statements before they're even thought through and spewed out all over the media, and it's like re-injuring them all over again.
Lavinia, I want to get your thoughts. World-renowned gymnast Simone Biles testifying today on Capitol Hill about the abuse that she suffered from gymnast Dr. Lavinia Masters, and basically saying how the FBI dropped the ball on its investigation and protecting her and fellow gymnasts. What hope do you have? I mean, if at that level mistakes can be made, what hope do you have for protection?
The hope I have is that these victims and these survivors, that they still seek their healing after such traumatic things that happen. And it does cause you to almost lose hope of the failure of your justice system, especially on the federal level, of failing to protect you, because I almost lost hope in my system on a local level of protecting me and dropping the ball of my case and me losing 2 statute of limitations, not 1 but 2, and not being able to prosecute. But I'm hoping that these survivors continue to use their voices and realize the power they have to make changes, even on federal level, to make sure that no other victim of sexual violence or any trauma will lose that opportunity of justice.
Okay. I want to ask you before, because we do have to wrap, unfortunately. Briefly tell us how your story helped shape policy in the state of Texas and also around the nation.
Well, my story, like we shared earlier, my kit sat on the shelf for over 21 years before we found out who the perpetrator was. When we found this out at the time, when we first started this crusade back in 2005, there were about 500,000 kits nationwide. I believe that there were more, because I believe there are still those victims even today that don't report. And in the state of Texas, there were about 20,000. Now we're down to about 5,000 with the Lavinia Masters Act, which I am the namesake, that went into effect September the 1st, 2019. And it was a great feat for justice to serve on behalf of victims in the state of Texas, because now it removes that statute of limitations until that DNA is ran, and it gives them about 50 years. Because like I said, I lost 2 statute of limitations, 5 years for my 18th birthday and 10 years after that, after I turned 18. So I lost 2. So this gives them hope, and that they have accountability now where they have to run these kits, for these victims versus leaving them on the shelf within 90 days. And so this is what other survivors and victims of rape can do. Use your voices, speak up, speak out with the injustices that happen. If we have to unnerve, unmove, go against the grain, or whatever we have to do as survivors, we have to do it. But changes can be made. And that was one of the beautiful things with the Lavinia Masters Act. And although sometimes things seem like they fall through the cracks, even with that law. I am still here making noise. I will continue to make noise, not just for my act, but for all victims and all injustices that are served against victims of sexual violence.
And we pray you continue to make noise with your voice. Thank you so much for all that you do. It was a pleasure meeting you.
I appreciate it.